Hello everyone, welcome back to The Budget Sportsman. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today I want to show you our 6x10 cargo trailer converted into a budget camper. Now probably 6 months ago, or maybe even a little bit more than that now, we made a video about this trailer and we first got it and first started working on it. If you saw that video, please keep watching because we made some amazing upgrades that made this camper so much better. And if you didn't see that video, don't worry, we're still going to walk through the whole thing from start to finish. Before I get into it, I do want to answer a question that I got on the first video, and that was, why not just go buy a camper? Well, one of the reasons for that is we tow this with that Ford Escape with a 3,500 pound towing capacity. This trailer, last time we weighed it, was under 2,000 pounds, and we've added some weight to it since then, but I'm pretty positive it's still well under 2,500 pounds, which is 1,000 pounds under the maximum tow capacity of this vehicle. And to be honest with you, that's all I would want to tow. I have not been able to find any camper that really would do what this does as far as weight. And the other thing is, because we use this for work a lot, we haul a lot of equipment in here sometimes when we're not actually using it as a camper, and so it's very dual purpose. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the things we changed since the last video. We'll start on the outside, and the first most obvious one is this awning, and this is a DIY budget awning. So up on top of the roof, I didn't want to put any screws through the roof, so there are two right now, but usually I use 3 big fishing magnets. I think they're like 300-pound magnets with a hook on the top. That way there's actually no screws through the top of the roof, and this tarp just hooks on there. On Amazon, I got these tent poles and a bunch of paracord. I use cam jams here, and these things are awesome. You can just tension up your tarp, just no problem at all. I'll put links to a bunch of this stuff down in the description, but this has been really awesome addition to our trailer. We're able to put some things outside that we want to stay dry. Now it's not perfectly dry. I really wanted an RV awning, but those were too expensive, and so this worked out really well. Up underneath here, you can probably see this 4-inch piece of PVC pipe. This is the only thing we screwed through the trailer, and it's in the side, not the top. We made sure to caulk the holes really well, but this has an end cap. When we're done using the awning, everything rolls up. All of the poles, the tent, the tarp, all of the paracord, all rolls up and fits inside this PVC pipe right here. And the brackets are actually made out of another piece of PVC pipe that we cut a gap in it, and then that piece of pipe just snaps right in. So that works out really well. Again, I'm happy with the fact that the magnets on the roof, there is nothing screwed through the roof. Another thing we did, this is just a cheap little thing. We got a couple of $5, I think $5 for a set maybe, wheel chocks at Walmart. Just gives me a little peace of mind when I want to go ahead and park my trailer somewhere. Maybe I'm going to leave it for a while. It gives me a little peace of mind. I'm not going to come back and have it rolled away. Let's walk around the back here. And another thing that we did, another Walmart upgrade, were these hyper tough 2-ton jack stands. And what we do is we put them under the back, and that gives us so much more stability when we're in and out of the camper. Or out of the trailer here. It gives a ton more stability and also allows us to level up the trailer a little bit. Now, one downside of these is they aren't able to be put up under weight. So that means they only can go up when they're just free moving and there's no weight on it. So that means I have to disconnect the trailer from the vehicle. I have to lower the front using the tongue jack, put the jacks under, raise them up, and then lift up the front of the trailer again with the tongue jack. It's a little bit extra work, and it does mean I always have to disconnect to be able to use these, but these are a huge addition that have made the trailer so much more stable when we're in it. Down the road, if money allows, I would like to put some scissor jacks back here that would stay on all the time, and I would be able to crank them down without disconnecting from the vehicle. But for now, I think these are $10 a piece and worked great. All right, so let's come around this side of the trailer now and look at one thing that maybe was not as budget as what I was hoping it would be, but has made a huge difference for us in how we enjoy the inside of the trailer, and that is this spare tire mount. Now, we looked and looked for a factory spare tire mount to put on the outside of this trailer. We could not find one. There were some that screwed into the walls. There was people putting them under, but nothing seemed like it was going to work in our application. So we actually ended up having a fabricator make this. It is bolted through the uprights of the frame, but it's also bolted to the bottom main frame of the trailer as well. This is super solid, and while this was a little bit expensive to get a fabricator to do, it has taken the spare tire out of the inside of our trailer where it was always in the way. We were always having to pull it out of the trailer when we wanted to be inside, and it was just a mess. And this was one of the best upgrades we did, believe it or not, even though it wasn't as budget as what I had hoped. Now, most of the time we do use the side man door, and we don't use this a whole lot unless we're unloading and loading, but for the sake of video, I'm gonna go ahead and open this door and we'll take a look inside. Now, in our original video, I told you that we were trying to keep this lightweight. We weren't trying to do any batteries. And all that we did for lights was just these battery-powered lights that we would magnet to the roof. Now, that was fine for a little while, but it became readily apparent that we really wanted some more battery power and some more lighting in this trailer. So as you can see now, we have two 12-volt lights, one here, one up over the kitchen. They're LED, they're super bright. Obviously we're in daylight right now, so it may not be obvious, but at night they're super bright. And this was the one that came from the factory, but it was tied to the vehicle lighting, which basically was never any use to us. So we disconnected that and tied that into our battery system, which I'll show you more about up front. Now here's another little thing we did that seems really little, but was a super big thing. These are a bunch of magnets. I think they have like a 60-pound holding capacity, and we got a pack of 8 of them for next to nothing. And they magnet to the frame, and we can move them around as we need to. It's great for hanging up our clothes or just whatever we need to do in here to organize and get stuff up off the floor. We're able to do that, and that was huge. Now, another big thing that you can see in here are these beds that are folded up. Now, in that original video, I said I didn't want to do any beds in here because I wanted to keep it super versatile. And I showed you in that video how often we put down cots. But what we found after using it a while is that everything that we carried in here, whether it was suitcases or whether it was equipment for our work that we do, whatever it was, it had to be pulled out in order to set up those cots. And it ended up being really frustrating and annoying. But I also didn't want to put a bed in here that was not removable because it would just take up too much space and just make everything claustrophobic when we came out. So we ended up with this design of doing a fold-up bed. So on this side is a bed for me, and it folds down, and it's plenty long for my 6'1" long frame. And as you can see here, our cooler is here, and when the bed on the other side folds down, just for example, we can keep a lot of stuff underneath there. So our suitcases can stay underneath there. A lot of our gear can stay underneath there. The cooler can stay underneath there. And it does give a narrow aisleway, but there's room for both me and my wife. And of course, you see Grace running around here, and she had to have a bed too. So her bed folds down, and it folds down from the top, and it is supported by these aircraft cable from the ceiling there. Grace, you want to get up in your bed? Yeah. Yeah, show everybody how that works. Oh, yeah, we have to take your boots off to get in bed. You're right. Now for Grace's bed, we just got this 1/2-inch thick yoga mat from Walmart and cut it down to size, and that worked great. It leaves us a little bit of space within the bed frame to put some of her bedding and still be able to fold the bed up. Now, for Hannah and I, we went online. I can't remember the name of the website now, but we had this foam that was custom cut because these beds are not normal size beds. We had this foam custom cut for mattresses, and it was, so far it's working out really well. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten to sleep on the foam yet. We have got to sleep on the beds before we got the foam in, and then the weather turned cold and we haven't been really using it as much, but we're really looking forward to trying out the foam. And again, it fits in there, stays right inside as we fold up the bed, and as you can see, we use these cooler latches to hold the bed in place. Now, one thing that's really neat, again, as I mentioned, we were able to keep stuff underneath, and we're able to have the cooler under here. And when we're up here in the kitchen, this cooler has wheels that actually rolls right out and rolls right back in. So even if the bed is down when we're doing any work in the kitchen, we're still able to access the cooler. Now, one thing you're going to notice, as I mentioned, we put electric in the trailer now. And so by both beds, we have these little ports. There's 2 USB ports on both sides. Allows us to charge our electronics like phones, watches, etc. But also, because we don't have any air conditioning in this trailer, it does allow us to put fans in here. And we got this fan, I think, from Lowe's, and it's got a bunch of pivots on it, so we can point it over toward the kitchen if we need to. Or if we're sleeping, we need to point it down toward the beds. We can do that as well. Now, another big upgrade that we did in here were these organizer baskets. Now, I know that in a way, it may look like they just take up a bunch of space on the wall, but all of this stuff was either down below before or all over the counter, and it's really given us some good place to organize a lot of our stuff. I think in the last video we had this one up, but not these, and that has made a big difference. Now, when it comes to our kitchen, talked about this in the last video. This is pretty much, not much has changed here, but we do have a small bar sink right here, I think is what it's called. It's a 15-inch sink with water and a soap dispenser. And down on the floor, we have a foot pump. We don't have a electric pump, we just have a foot pump, but all you have to do is pump that and you get water, soap dispenser as well. And then on this side, we have a 2-burner propane stove, and we've just run this off the little 1-pound propane bottles and get a ton of meals out of one of those 1-pound propane bottles. So let's go ahead and take a look down underneath now. Our cabinet. On this side, We've got a bunch of food storage. We got this three drawer thing here. We got utensils in there, a bunch of dry food. Obviously the skillet, and that's one thing that we had to do is just find some hooks and stuff. We got the skillet hanging up. Got some other storage there where we can put some various storage, and the number of these bins kind of varies depending on the trip. About how many of those we need, we just stack them up there. We can fit several there. So pretty much this side is all food storage, and then on this side is our water and electric. So what we have over here is we have two 6-gallon water jugs that come from Walmart. One of them is the fresh water, and that feeds through the foot pump and all the way up to the sink. And then the other one is our gray water, and it just comes right from the drain and down into here. So at any time we can pull those out, take them out, dump them, refill them at any kind of a water hydrant at a campground, or even just take them into Walmart or a grocery store that has a water dispenser for drinking water and fill them up that way. Now for our battery system, I was considering going with a regular deep cell battery, something like that. And then I came across a sale on Amazon for this Jackery. I guess it's called a solar generator. It's really awesome. It has a 12-volt plug, which is what we're using right now to run all of the lights and the fans and everything like that. It also has an AC inverter, which we don't use a whole lot, but it is nice if you get in a pinch to be able to charge something like a laptop. But the best part about it is able to be recharged from a solar panel. And so we were able to also get not only the Jackery battery, but also this folding solar panel. Now, if this battery is completely dead, and if you plug it into the solar panel with really good direct sunlight, you can recharge this from completely dead to full in about 6 hours. So that's been really amazing for us. This battery usually lasts us more than one night or one day of use. But even if we were to use it up in one day, we can also recharge it in one day as long as we have some decent sunlight. So I'm really, really happy with this. The other thing that's really nice about this battery is if I unplug this, we're gonna lose our light, but we can just pull it right out of there. We can take it into the house if we need to charge it from an AC charger. We can take it outside if we need to charge it on solar, or we can even pull it out of here and use it for other trips or other things where we're not actually using the camper. So been super, super happy with the Jackery solar battery so far. Another thing we did is we added this screen door. I think it was like $5 from the dollar store. In the summertime, it does get pretty hot in here if all the doors are closed up, so it's nice to be able to open the doors up a little bit without having a bunch of bugs coming in. Now, obviously, you can tell this is not perfectly sealed up, but it does really help keep the bugs out. And it's magnets in the middle, so you can just kind of walk out, and even if you have stuff in your hands, it comes apart. And then it's supposed to magnet itself back together. Sometimes it takes a little bit of extra help to get it sealed back up. But this has been another big upgrade for us to be able to leave the door open and get a little bit of airflow, especially when we're sleeping at night. All right, so the last thing that I forgot to mention here is our toilet, and this is called the Pack-A-Potty 2000. This is from Sears. I don't know that this is available anymore. I think Dometic does make one just like this that is still readily available. It's really nice. It's got a little water storage in it where you can actually pump some water in it to flush it. It's got a compartment down below that's sealed off where everything goes and stays in there, and then you can take out that canister. You can take it out and you can dump it down the RV dump, or you can even take it into a bathroom and dump it down the toilet. But this has been really nice for us to actually have a little bathroom right here in the trailer. So there it is. There's our budget cargo trailer converted into a camper. It's only a 6x10, but you can see we're able to pack a lot in there, and we've made it very functional. We've really enjoyed using it. Let me know what you think. Tell me what your ideas are, what you would do to make this camper even better, or let me know about your cargo trailer conversion down in the comments. Until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.